All right, welcome back. We had quite a lot going on last week in both Horry and Georgetown. Um, in Georgetown, um, we've got uh, we've got several people that are out with medical situations, and our deputy was out on other matters. So special hats off to Liz Smith. Um, she did an outstanding job. Sent some people down there to help her, but she pretty much held the whole thing by herself without, some people from Horry coming in and helping her to run the pleas. And it was to start off with one of these ICAC cases, or Internet Crimes Against Children cases. That got continued with a lot of motions. So that took up basically all of Monday, but she just did an incredible job, and had a case that came out of there that was sexual conduct with a minor, and that person got 10 years in prison. That was Bobby Joe McConnell, Bobby Joe McConnell, 58, of Georgetown. Pled third-degree criminal sexual conduct and abuse of a vulnerable adult, and he received a 10-year sentence for that, on top of everything else Liz had going on in Georgetown. So today is a really special day. We're starting in Horry a trial. This morning will be with the judge will be very busy, not only taking some of the pleas that were on the trial roster that have decided to plead guilty, but he will also have to qualify a jury and then pick from that group a number of jurors to come back and to start our murder case this afternoon. In addition, this afternoon at 2 o'clock, we're going to have a swearing in where as the elected solicitor, we have to swear in Columbia and at the Supreme Court, and we have to fill out all of these forms and send it in lieu of going and an actual swearing in. So what we do is come back and we do that ceremony here in the circuit, and we'll do that today at 2 o'clock. And Judge Culbertson is also going to swear in all of our assisted attorneys. Now, when we're fully staffed, it'll be me and about 30 assisted attorneys, 31 assisted attorneys. Actually, me, Scott Hickson as a deputy in Horry, and Alicia Richardson as the deputy in Georgetown. But there's about 31 in total. So we do a lot of work. I talk to you all the time about 10,000 warrants in Horry. In addition to that, we have about 2,000 warrants per year in Georgetown. We also have, between Horry and Georgetown, about 1,500 juvenile cases, and we have about 1,500 magistrates cases. So I always talk about 10,000, but for the circuit, criminal cases, we'll have about 15,000 a year, and that's a lot to say grace over. These guys do a really good job. Today, at the swearing in, it's always neat to kind of look back in time, but my assistant brought me something from well over 10 years ago that I had written, and I decided to use it in today's speech. And a lot of these things are just as important today as they were over 10 years ago when I wrote them. But I believe that we as prosecutors are professionals. Our degrees are Juris Doctorate, and that means that we're held to a different standard. We can moan and gripe about that standard all we want, but we are held to a much higher standard. I believe that we work very hard, and that all lawyers should. I believe when people go into law school, they think that maybe, this is going to be a way for me to make a living, you really have to eke out a living in this profession. I believe that we're self-motivated. I believe that we're not petty. I believe that we are to be civil to one another, to victims, to the police, to the public defender, the private bar, to the judges. If we are going to hold ourselves to a higher standard, it should be to expect that out of ourselves, to be civil. I believe we shouldn't gossip. I believe that loose lips sink ships. I believe that we should not throw each other down to the police or to the judges or to the private bar or the public defenders to elevate ourselves over people that are working alongside us. I believe that we should stay focused on the task at hand, not be easily distracted, not waste time, not rob the county of our time. I believe that we are to be ethical, we are to teach, we are to aid, we are to answer. We are not all-knowing, but we are fair and we are well suited, and we should ask questions when appropriate. We should be quick-hitting, staying on the offensive without being offensive. We should empathize, however, we should not become biased. We are friends united together in a search for the truth. And again, those are some of my beliefs from over 10 years ago. They remain very simple, but very much the same today. And I believe that that is part of the success that we've had. It all starts with being hard workers and being very civil, thinking of the other guy's needs before we think of our own. All of the things that you learned in kindergarten or in Sunday school, but all of those things are important to us. So thank you for watching, and look to see you next week and update you on these cases.